Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And man, oh man, do I have this aggressively average content for you today. As what do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Diddy has moved to the same section of the New York City jail housing as Sam Bankman-Fried. And for me, these are the headlines that I truly live for. Isn't that absolutely unbelievable? While everyone and their mom is distracted by Diddy, here we're focused on the broader implications of how we can make the most money in this period in time in 2024. But I always find it interesting how they keep their favorites in a more secure location, right where they want them. And I don't know about you guys, but I think they got some special in store for some of their favorite criminals. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we move on with our content for the day, I want to show you this post from the blockchain backer. Because over the last couple months, we've been in a holding pattern in regards to the crypto market right before takeoff for the next leg of this bull market cycle. We've already seen new Bitcoin all-time highs, but the altcoins have been lagging behind. But here, BC Backer mentioned in Markets in the Morning, an interesting dynamic in the altcoin market showing up. The breath is suddenly opened after being completely dead since the 702 retrace back in March 14th, 2024, just 6 months ago. The daily RSI has poked above the bear resistance level of 60. And this is in line with waters above recent prediction that October through March is likely when this peak bull market cycle is going to show itself. All I'm asking you to do is be in, and if you're new to crypto or beginning a waiver on XRP, this is when you need to be in. This is when you need to have the most confidence. It's been boring for long enough. This is where the show begins. And I can't stress that enough. We are in a magical place. And I don't know about you guys, but paying attention to these politicians has been fascinating recently, as Maxine Waters has had a complete 180 on the crypto market and actually stated that crypto is inevitable and that we are running out of time in regards to a stablecoin bill being passed here in America. Ladies and gentlemen, Ripple has real USD about to launch at any given moment. This is massive, as MiCA regulations are live in Europe, and exchanges are beginning to comply by getting rid of Tether. I don't give a solitary fuck about who says Tether is some golden sombrero crypto. I don't give a fuck about who says Tether is going to stay and be some great stable coin and have credibility. I don't care. It's about this. I have suspicions that Tether is a racket. And because these regulations are in place and beginning to show themselves to remove Tether, this is adding to that potential. And if I'm right, then USDC and real USD from Ripple is going to take a massive market share. And if that's the case, oh my goodness, the sky's truly the limit for XRP. And we're about to see a bull run reach higher heights than some of the realistic values I've been talking about on my channel for a while now. This is a moment in time where you have to stay grounded and pay attention, because the bull market has infrastructure this time that it didn't have in 2017 and it didn't have in 2021. Bank of New York Mellon is reportedly the first major bank to receive SEC approval to custody Bitcoin for clients. Custodianship has been a massive limitation in regards to mass adoption for the crypto industry. And remember, Bank of New York Mellon is a massive Ripple partner. Remember, Ripple got Medico and standard custody to tap into the custodianship game. So imagine this: real world asset tokenization from Ripple, custodianship from Ripple, and now a stablecoin from Ripple. And you think XRP is not going to hit new all-time highs and beyond? You're out of your mind. Now sit here as one of the biggest custodians in the world, if not the biggest custodian in the world, I believe, who's also a Ripple partner, discusses how they custody over 45 trillion in assets. And I believe some of that's going to the crypto market.
Recognize that after all the conversations, based on a client demand, and that's very important, based on a support from the whole ecosystem here in the US and globally, we decided to make it a business. So we announced the digital asset business, which Caroline actually leads, and she used to lead custody for us, which is what Bank of New York is known for. I mean, we are the custodian for 45 trillion of assets. That's double US GDP.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I played every single one of you that clip is to realize the magnitude of the opportunity we're in. Ripple is tapped into custodianship. They're partnered with the biggest custodian of assets on the planet. And in addition to tap into the actual system, Ripple has been working with the Federal Reserve.
Others was like the rise of other CBDCs. So I do work in the US. We work with the Fed, and we work with the academic, a number of universities that also work with the Fed. And the geopolitical impact of CBDCs is one of the topics that we've been working on. And when China announced the digital yuan, that suddenly made the Fed, US Fed, wake up and go, oh, hang on a minute. This is scary because the dollar is still the primary currency for global trade, reserve currency, and if the digital yuan becomes widely used outside of China, that could be a threat to the dollar.
And when Ripple launches their stablecoin, what do you think that's inevitably going to mean? Ladies and gentlemen, they are currently rapidly looking to push for U.S. stablecoin regulations. You heard Maxine Waters say it herself. She wants it after being as anti-crypto as you could be. Now, it's a complete 180, and they want to push through this bill. Part of that is to get rid of Tether. Tether will be excluded from U.S. stablecoin regulations, as a 2024 investment research report confirms that us upcoming U.S. stablecoin regulations, which will set a groundwork for the stablecoin framework in the U.S., will disadvantage non-U.S. entities like Tether, and the largest economy by GDP has no plans to include the leading stablecoin in its regulation. Look at what's happening with MiCA in Europe already. Exchanges are delisting Tether. Tether loyalists can ignore this if they wish, but doing so will be at their own risk. I'm not saying you can't use Tether as a trading pair, but I believe that using Tether as a store of value, as a stablecoin where you just park money, could be dangerous. If you want to do so in USDC. And then, if you want a more liquid trading pair in Tether, you could do what you have to do. But I am warning people right now, this is the elephant in the room no one in crypto really likes to discuss. But I'll discuss it at my own view count expense, because God forbid I call it out. People really get mad over stable coins nowadays. Not even crypto communities. Fucking stable coins. Well, I'll always be the one to remind you about the stablecoin apocalypse that happened because of UST and Terra. Never forget it. We have stablecoin regulations coming, central bank digital currencies and developments, Ripple working on both of them. Isn't that so interesting? Either way, Ripple wins. But in the meantime, what you need to understand is that the Tether CEO is going on TV warning about how CBDCs will kill the banks, and as a matter of fact, they will. Small and medium-sized banks are going away, and they're going to consolidate it to a few of the big banks. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and the central bank is going to come directly into play. That's going to be fascinating. And as we step into this world where the US dollar is coming under threat, US stablecoin regulations are coming to play, and CBDCs are on the horizon, we need to understand that we are in the most powerful position we could possibly be in, as Ripple and XRP is the answer to the broken system. Ripple and XRP are the missing link. And now, take a brief moment to listen to the Tether CEO.
But I want to ask you about CBDCs, Paulo, central bank digital currencies. Many would say that stable coins are continuing their growth until the day there's a US dollar CBDC. What's your view of the interaction we're going to have with CBDCs and stable coins? Do you think one will replace the other, they will cohabitate, or actually you think we're so far from having mainstream adoption of the CBDCs, especially in emerging markets, actually?
Well, I think that when it comes, if you live in emerging markets, you will still look for a currency that is different than your local currency that you can rely on. So I don't think that will change. If I know that certain parties in the US, and both Democrats and Republicans, are trying to pass some bills that would prevent the government to launch, or the Fed to launch, a CBDC. It's quite scary, especially if launched from a government as powerful as the US, because that would be the first time that the central bank and the state would have access to every single transaction that any person would make. Today, if you have a credit card, you go and purchase a coffee somewhere, that transaction is between you and the bank or the issuer of that debit card. But if you use a CBDC, every single transaction you make is going to be potentially reviewed directly by the central bank and the government. So it's almost a way to geolocate people and understand their exact habits and control potentially people. So that is very, very scary. So I don't think it will happen anytime so soon, at least when it comes to the US. Europe is discussing about the digital euro, but in a very reduced form, up to 5,000 euros per wallet, very limited use case, also because a CBDC could kill banks. They said, or Crypto Crowd said for such a long time, we are going to kill the banks. Actually, a CBDC will kill the banks. So I think that there is this understanding from the political side that it could be very unpredictable, the result of launching a CBDC.
Now, guys, don't get it twisted. I am not a fan of Tether or the Tether CEO or anything involving Tether shit, but these quotes are very real and very true, and it's something we cannot ignore. But in the meantime, Madame Lagarde, probably the biggest lizard of them all, is telling every single one of you that Europe is preparing for the currency of the future. Remember back in 2018, she was laying the foundation of the digital financial system with Ripple in high-level meetings that we're not supposed to know about. These were the so-called early days of the IMF with Christine Lagarde right here, Jesse Chang from the IMF right here. Oh, look at Brad Garlinghouse just right there with all these people. Indonesia in the room, SWIFT in the room, Hong Kong. What else do you need? Ladies and gentlemen, these meetings happen because important moves and decisions need to be made. These lizards don't congregate in rooms for no reason. They're not just having tea and crumpets. They're formulating a plan to make as much money as possible and gain as much control as possible. And in this strategic move, Christine Lagarde is one of the main architects. When she speaks, you better listen. And I'm going to leave you with MiCA regulations in the forefront of your mind, as stablecoin regs have hit the EU. During this election cycle, I think they're about to hit the US as well. In the background, we have this to think about for the XRP army. And we're going to break this down in tomorrow's video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the bearable bull here. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please protect yourself and your crypto with your offline hardware wallets. I'm sick and tired of seeing people losing their crypto from wallets like Exodus that get hacked away too frequently. I'm tired of seeing people leaving their cryptos on exchanges. Take self-custody seriously. An ounce of prevention beats a pound of cure, and I can't stress that enough. If you want a discount code to buy your very own Decent wallet, the link to that is in my description below. As always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
The digital euro is on the move. Yesterday, the Governing Council of the ECB approved the opening of the preparation phase. It will be a journey, and we will walk the journey together with the legislator. All European institutions will be involved to make sure that Europe is equipped with the currency of the future. I just want to clarify that my main message today is that we must be ready for change and prepared to use the flexibility of our frameworks as necessary. And to ensure future stability, our approach must continue to embody stability without rigidity. The goals of monetary policy are not going to be changed. But those transformations are going to have a serious impact on monetary policy transmission.